Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today I'm taking part in a YouTube hop that is celebrating the 40th birthday and 700 subscribers for Monique from Handmade Happy by Monique. So in this YouTube hop, there will be quite a few other creatives playing along, and as always, I'll have them linked down below. So be sure to stop by and check them out and share some love with them as well. And make sure you wish Monique a very happy birthday when you stop by her channel if you've not been there already. So for this hop, she suggested that we either scrap lift her or include some of her favorite things. And you know that she loves bright colors and rainbows and stitching and cut files and mixed media. So I'm going to try to incorporate some of those things into my layout today. The layout that I chose to scrap lift of hers has mixed media on it. I'm a little pushed for time today, so I'm kind of going to work around that, I hope. We'll see. If not, I'll just pull out my mixed media and find the time to make it work. But the layout she did that I'm scrap lifting was using Vicki Boutin, and I believe everything was from Color Study. I didn't have the same papers left in my Color Study stash. I've already used quite a bit of it. So I had to pull the black paper from Storyteller by Vicki Boutin, but I think it'll work okay. It's a little bit different feel and not quite as deep of a black. This one has a little bit lighter tone to it, but I think I can make it work. And then I've pulled some of the other things that she had to use, as well as something else that I may use for the title cut file. She did another cut file for her title. This one is called, hold on, Heart Impressions by Pear Tree Cut Files. So that's the name of this lovely cut file. She also used another one from Pear Tree Cut Files for her title, and I may use that or I may do something different. So I've pulled a couple possible papers for that. She also used these cute little flowers. I had a few left as well. And then I needed to find something with some bright colors that I could use, and I had already used up most of this type of paper in my Color Study stash. So I pulled one from Sweet Rush, and I mean, overall the colors are very similar because, you know, Vicki Boutin kind of does the same style of bright colors most of the time. So when I saw this paper, I thought I might could get away with this taking the place of the mixed media that she did. So that's what I'm going to work on and see how it turns out. So I'm just going to put you on fast forward. I've left all my pieces on my cutting mat so that if I decide to back them instead of just ripping the paper, I'm not sure exactly which one I'm going to do yet, but we'll see. As you can see, I'm kind of up in the air about this one. There's a lot of parts and pieces that I want to incorporate. It just depends on what all I can figure out how to get done with the supplies that I have on hand. So I'm going to put you on fast forward. We'll get this one done. So let's do it. All right, the first thing I'm showing you here is just that I'm using the negative pieces from the cut file to trace the heart a little bigger than the negative piece so that I've got enough to stick on to the back of the cut file. And then I'm just using my Barely Arts Precision glue to glue all of those in place. And I'm going to repeat all of that over and over until I'm done, and I'll do that off camera. Okay, so I've got my cut file backed with pieces of paper from this sheet. Again, as a reminder, it's Sweet Rush Simple Pleasures. So that's what I needed to cut out in order to get the pieces to back my cut file. There were a couple that were just not wide enough. The strips were not wide enough. And so I did have to piece them, but I think once everything's on there, or even maybe an embellishment or a title piece might go somewhere where those are, but I don't think it's going to be that noticeable, hopefully. So I pulled over a piece of white basil cardstock in Avalanche, and I just feel like I want to add a border. That is something I enjoy doing. And I enjoy stitching on my layouts when I add a border. And so I know that Monique enjoys stitching as well. So I'm just trying to think about something that would look good and tie in some more of these colors around my border. Or maybe this one. Yeah, I kind of like how the colors somewhat line up in angles here. So what I'm going to do, I'll cut down the branding strip off of this one first. And this is from Color Study. It is called Abstract. So let's get this one down to 12 inches. And then typically I like to cut my paper to 11 by 11 to give me a 1/2 inch border all the way around. But I think I'm going to go with, let me see. I might just do 11 1/2 today, since my cut file needs to be taken into consideration. So I'm going to cut down to 11 1/2 on 2 sides. So that will give me about a 1/4 inch border all the way around. Let me make sure I like that. Yeah, I think that's enough just to give it a little bit of color. Yeah. All right, so I am going to, I don't think I'm going to gut this one. I don't really foresee that I would probably use that again, although I do kind of like this side. Nope, I'm just going to go ahead and put her in place. So I'll adhere down just in the center so that I'm not running my needle on my machine through all of the adhesive. I'm gonna have to kind of get on my tippy toes here. Hopefully my head won't get in the camera too much. And if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. It will be a-okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go stitch this, and I will probably stitch it in black just to kind of bring in a little bit more of that, and then I'll be back. All right, so I'm just showing you here that I have done the stitching all the way around in my little messy style that I like, kind of my signature style, and now I'm moving on to the rest of the layout. Okay, so I have my stitching done, and I have printed off my photo. It's a little photo of Ellie, our Yorkie, in her little car seat type thing. She loves to ride, and so we got her this little car seat, and she's been doing a great job of sitting there and staying out of our laps while we're trying to drive. So I've printed that off. I'll put something behind it, and then I really didn't want to do another cut file, but I found this piece that might work from Color Cast Designs. It's an acrylic piece. It says "You Are Loved," and I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but it's kind of the same shade of blue, and it has glitter. It's like actually blue and silver glitter. And so I kind of like that, maybe somewhere down in there. And she kind of had her photo here, and then had other embellishments. So I think I'm going to put you back on fast forward again and start laying some things out and maybe getting some things put in place and see what I can get done. All right, so let's go ahead and get going. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and back my photo with 2 layers of just some old random tissue paper. And I want to put a layer of foam between the photo and the tissue paper just to give it a little more dimension. I like a lot of dimension on my layouts. And so I put the fun foam that has adhesive on one side, and then I use my Bearly Arts precision glue to glue it down on the other side. And I'm just kind of tidying up the layers and then rumpling them up a little bit to just make them look a little softer. And then I'm going to go ahead and start trying to figure out what ephemera I may want to use. And some of these pieces are so big, they're kind of hard to use, but I did end up getting a few pieces that I felt were not too out of scale. Like that piece right there is too big. And I'll audition one floral, the one right there. I end up not using it on that side, but I'm able to put it under the photo on the left side, kind of at an angle so that that orange flower is covered up. But the lighter blue and the darker blue leaves kind of match up in the right layer or level of color, trying to do that tone on tone, which is what Monique did in her layout. So that's why I'm trying to follow through with that. And I found this piece that said, "You color my world," and I thought that that just kind of fit with the layout a little bit better, with the overall feel, and definitely with the colors. And so I decided not to use that acrylic piece. And then now I'm going to put a lot of foam on a lot of stuff. Again, I enjoy dimension. I don't mind that my albums get filled up quickly. It's okay. I don't have 20 years worth of albums to worry about yet. So, you know, when that time comes, I may worry about it. But right now I only have like 2 years worth of albums, so I'm okay. And I do a lot of different sizes, so it's not all just big, thick, bulky 12 by 12 albums. But anyway, back to the story. I'm putting that photo there kind of at an angle like I was talking about, because I wanted to just judge how far over I needed to put my cut file based on that floral piece. And you saw that I put liquid glue on top of my foam, and I almost always do that just to give me a little bit of wiggle room for a few seconds. And I needed it here because I didn't quite get it as straight as I wanted to, the cut file. So now I'm going to put another piece of foam on the back of my photo, so that'll give me another level and have it be a little higher than the cut file piece. So that's what I'm wanting to do. So I'll get all that foam in place. And then I'm going to turn my attention to that little blue banner that says, "Here's the whole story." That was really the only thing I could find in that blue color that would work. There was really nothing else. So it had just happened to be that I could stick it in there in between the 2 layers of tissue paper, and it was in the right place to be in that tone on tone area. So I did that. I put a little adhesive, and then I'm going to put some foam dots behind it to pop it up a bit. I don't want it to fall down behind the level of the photo. Now on my title piece, I'm going to end up putting 2 layers of foam because, again, I want it to be higher than the cut file. I want it to stick up over it just a little bit. And I knew I wanted it to be there because that C has the dark blue indigo color of the hearts there. So I wanted that to nestle in there, and that would kind of be my tone on tone piece for those colors. Then I think I start using a good bit of foam to put my florals in place, and you'll see that I kind of like round them with my fingers a little bit and then bend the leaves, and just to have them look a little more lively, a little more lifelike maybe. And again, I just love texture and dimension and depth on my layouts. So I'll get those in place, and then it takes me a second there to piddle with all the different little foam squares, but those are scrapbook adhesives by 3L, and they are my favorite. They come in a couple of shapes, a couple of sizes, a couple of thicknesses, and so I really enjoy using those. And then for the butterflies, I'm just going to bend up their wings and use my liquid glue, the Barely Arts Precision Glue, on those to get those in place. And I really only had 2, so I kind of went with like 3 florals and 2 butterflies, and still ended up with kind of the odd number of major embellishments there. So I'm going to put those basically in that area that you saw me lay them down. And then off camera, I do pull over the puffy sticker sheet and try to add in a few more hearts and dots and things like that. And I'm also, in a minute, going to bring in a big pile of Citrus Twist Kit puffy hearts and things like that, because I still needed something. That's it right here. I still needed something that was kind of in those darker blues and purples down at the bottom. So I found a few things to use there, and you'll see I've sprinkled around some other hearts and things to just kind of fill out the layout a little bit, a little more with that tone-on-tone feeling. And then I'm going to bring over, I think it's called Dr. P.H. Martin's India ink, something or another. But it's just a really, really dark, opaque ink. And I'm going to put some splatters on around my title, put my date stamp on there, and then that finishes me up, friends. So I appreciate you stopping by today, and happy birthday to Monique. Okay, that's where I'm going to call this one done, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I wasn't sure when I started this scrap lift if it was going to get the same feeling across as Monique's layout. She had all that beautiful mixed media, and it just wasn't something I had time to do today, so I backed the cut file instead. And although obviously, you know, all that extra color's not there, I think the same feel is present. You can definitely tell that it was scrap lifted from her. However, there are some differences that make it mine, which is what's so great about being able to scrap lift someone. You can follow it very closely, yet still have it be your style as well. So I did get in rainbow and bright colors and florals, and I did get in stitching and a few little splatters for mixed media. So I think that I ticked off a lot of the boxes that Monique enjoys doing on her layouts. And so I hope she will enjoy this layout that I have done today as part of this hop to celebrate her 40th birthday and her 700 subscribers on YouTube as well. So again, there will be links to everyone down below, so be sure to check them out. I appreciate you stopping by and spending time today with me so very much. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love a thumbs up down below, and if you have not already hit that subscribe button, please consider doing so and becoming a part of my little YouTube family. Let's see, anything else that I need to tell you? I think that's it. I'm pretty sure there'll be some close-ups at the end, as well as over on Instagram, where I'd love for you to follow me as well. There's lots of things going on over there that just never make their way to YouTube. So until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself, do something good for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.